So the calm after the storm here at St James's Park. Newcastle United eventually got the result they wanted. It was a bit of a shaky first half, wasn't it? Going 1-0 down after 4 minutes. But surely Newcastle at that stage even weren't contemplating such a shock result. And they got back into it. 1-1. Alexander Isak, great finish, angled finish at the loser's end to make it 1-1. And then after the break, it was all plain sailing for Newcastle. They were more clinical, they just seemed to have a lot more about them. And then after the game, it emerged that Eddie Howe had a bit of a blast with the players, told them his feelings after that poor first half, especially on the back of what happened against Crystal Palace the other night. But yeah, clinical. Alexander Isak taking his chance very well in the first half. Bruno scoring a diving header, putting Newcastle 2-1 up. Isak got a penalty to make it 3-1. There was an own goal which put Newcastle in full control at that stage, 4-1. And then the fifth goal was a really well taken strike from Callum Wilson coming off the bench to score his first Premier League goal since October. So a really good moment for him at a really good time as well going into the run-in. Newcastle now have 4 games left. They're in a relatively good position in terms of cementing that place to get into the Europa Conference League. They could still do Europa League as well, given Man United dropped 2 big points against Burnley. But overall today, cracking atmosphere in the second half. Newcastle fans really enjoying the moment. Penultimate game of the season, of course. Head to Burnley next week, which will be a tough game. But they've got a little bit of a cushion now. As I say, 7th place will be enough to get them where they need to be. But yeah, look, full marks today for Newcastle. They responded from that defeat at Crystal Palace. It could have been, a hangover from that. It felt like there was going to be a hangover at one stage in that first half. But overall, Newcastle have done what they've consistently done under Eddie Howe. Don't underestimate this team's performance over the season. They've actually now got more goals than Newcastle got in 95-96 under Keegan when they nearly won the league. And they've got more goals then the season after when they also finished second. So in terms of attack and play, Newcastle are right up there with the very best teams we've seen here at St James's Park. Points wise, obviously they're a bit off the pace, but Eddie Howe admitting in the press conference afterwards there is room for improvement. There is an opportunity to get better and better and add to this team. Today Bruno Guimaraes looked magnificent as he put in a solid shift. I think he got 110 touches in the end, scored that diving header as I mentioned earlier. And Newcastle really now looking like a team that are ready to return to Europe. Second successive season. Okay, they've taken a couple of steps back in terms of position, but when they play as well as this, nobody can fault them.